Hi guys, picked this up in a charity shop the other day simply because I was interested in the animation or the amount of movement in it. Now, it's just a cheap toy. It's a pull-back motor on it, so you pull it back and it drives itself forwards, but it's got an added bit where the front wheel's turning the turret side to side. I'm not sure whether that's supposed to rise up and down. I don't think so now I look at it. But anyway, I thought I'd take it apart and just have a look at the mechanism. I mean, visually I can see through that little hole there is a gear. There's a gear actually on the axle, and then there's a gear there that must turn something else. I was quite impressed it's actually got rubber tracks on it. They don't usually bother with that nowadays. They don't do anything, they're not driven at all. In fact, it looks like somebody's actually glued them in place, which is a shame. Yeah, they do look like they've actually been glued. Anyway, it looks like it's only one screw to take it apart. Before we go anywhere, it just says made in China. There is a number on there. Can we zoom in and see what the number says? Number 52679. Okay, let's take it apart. One screw. Okay, and there we are. So, pull-back motor, which I suspect is slightly lower geared than most of the ones that I look at, simply because they don't want the tank to go quite as fast as a normal car. But without counting the teeth on it, I wouldn't be able to tell you that. So we wind it up. Just looking what we've got a ratchet effect just there. That actually locks that gear. So it's been wound up, that gear, doing the gear in there, doing that gear, which is winding that up. That ratchet stops it going back that way, and then it looks like it discharges that gear to that gear to that gear to that gear to the gear there. That's what I think it is. It's a matter of looking to see which ones turn. They're all turning as we're winding it up. But as it's unwinding, this one can't turn because it's got a ratchet on it. So that one turns, that one, that one, that one, that one. Also, I don't know if you look at the one that's right in the middle in there, which you can hardly see. So I do that, you'll see it moves in and out of alignment. So as it's being wound up, it's pushed in place and turns that gear. But when it's unwinding, it drops back out of the way, so it's not in use at all. I hadn't intended to take that apart, but that's interesting just looking at it. There's another bit of plastic moving around just there. Which is the bit, oh I can see, it is the bit that actually moves that gear up and down. that stop on the back of it. Oh, it's a slightly different pullback motor to ones I've looked at before. This one likewise moves up and down, so when it's up out of position it's not engaging, whereas as soon as that one turns that direction it pushes that down and it engages with that one. I think we can see that happening. That way it disengages, so you can see even though it's moving a bit, it's not engaging there. Whereas if it goes the other way, it's actually engaged. And when it's freewheeling, in other words, when the springer's discharged, that's when it flicks back up out the way. So let's go through that slowly, winding it backwards. The gear in there is engaged with this one, and that's tightening up the spring that's in that plastic case. When it goes the other way, the gear in there is pushed out the way, so it's no longer engaged there. That ratchet holds that side of the gear and stops it moving. This one is then moved by the spring, which pushes that one. So that gear engages that one engages that one engages that one, and actually drives the back axle. But once there's no more pressure from that gear, this one flicks up out the way. I'll just do that a little bit. Engaged, disengaged. Engaged, disengaged. So that it can freewheel. Oh, I like that. And if we really wanted to, we could pop it out by disengaging there, and it should all pop out. Yeah. So we can see that lever moving that gear in and out. I say it's moving, it's basically it's the pivot. So winding it up, it gets engaged, unwinding it comes free. Winding, engaged, unwinding, free. And that little bit is a ratchet that holds that gear in place, stops it going backwards. So it's turning. As soon as it goes the other way, ratchet engages. That one can't move. The spring in there is unwinding. While it's got power, it's pushing that one down in place, engaging that one and the axle gear. But once it's discharged, it's got no more power, so that one just flicks up out the way. You can see it's in a slot there, so it can move up and down. Just there. Right, so that's that side. We will put it back in a minute. But we can look at this now. Well, in fact, that's going to lift straight out. So we've got a cam on either side. On that gear, and that gear is driven by that. So as it goes along, let's think it's going that way, it's actually turning that direction. And that is pushing that side to side. So the only thing that disappoints me a little bit was I was hoping it might also lift that up and down, but it doesn't. There is a little bit of bit of bodywork sticking up there, but it doesn't engage anything. Unless, I wonder if there's a piece. There is a piece missing. Now I look. That's broken just there. Something's broken off just there. So it's possible something might have been under there to actually push that up and down. Possible. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I don't think it's got enough weight to drop under its own weight. I don't think there's anything for that to engage in, so I think that's just somebody's pulled it too hard. That was probably just an L-shaped piece that got on there and stopped it being pushed too far. Would have stopped there and there. This is metal, and that is metal. It's got, that bit's plastic, but the outer case is metal. That's metal. This bit is plastic. Where did that bit come from? One end or the other. I didn't notice when that dropped off. We'll find out when we try and put it back together. That clearly goes in there. It would have been there somewhere, wouldn't it? Inside there, I think. Could it have been? I've lost. Yeah, I reckon it's there. Not like that. Like that, I should think. Right, let's put the bits back in. So that went in there, clicks in there. Yep, we're okay there. I think that way. Ah, I see. There is two little slots that fits into. So I was saying this was a cheap one. It was cheap because I only paid, I don't know, £1, 50 pence. I can't remember how much I paid for it now. 50 pence I think I paid for it. How much it would have been new, I don't know. What's not lined up properly? What's not lined up? That's better. So if we turn that. Did we line it up? No, we didn't line it up. Right, got that wrong. Take that out. Lift that off. Oh, that's dropped out. That's why we're not working. Hold it still. Turn that. Now we're moving. Yeah, I like that when you've got that extra little bit that makes the turret move side to side, or whatever you call that. Just gives it that extra bit of animation as it's going along. And as I say, it's unusual to find them with rubber tracks, even though this one appears to have been glued in place. Why would they glue it in place? Just to stop it falling off, I suppose. So, there we go. Just to check it's still working. One last go. That'll do, it works. Thanks for watching. If you want more information, check down below in the video description. If you like this video, you might like this one up here. And if you want to subscribe, you can check out my channel over here. Up here is my latest video on my channel, and down here is a video playlist associated with the video you've just watched. Thanks again for watching.